Hello again, welcome to another update, and this is the track plan which you may have seen before if you've seen my previous videos. Now this red line is the up main line, you might say. So a train could come in from this curve along here and stop at the platform. This platform should get about 5 coaches, I believe, and then obviously exits. Now when I was looking at this I thought there is a problem, because on the down line, the green line, a train can only really stop here on this much smaller platform, which isn't really very adequate. It could come in, I suppose, through the three-way and the double slip and stop here on this side of the platform if it's unoccupied, if that line's unoccupied, but it can't get back onto its down line. So when I was fixing the wiring problem I had before, I was taking the track up to redo the points, and I thought, what about if I made it so that on the up line a train could come in here and go straight across here and basically join on with this this siding here and stop on this side, and that would be much better, because then it would enable trains to come in on both sides, and then rework this junction here so that trains on the down line can get back onto their proper track. So that's more or less what I did, and in this other two versions of AnyRail, which I've got running at the same time. So this bottom one is the old plan, where trains would come up here on the track, on the red track, and stop here. But now I've moved this line, rearranged these points like this. So this is the up line. Train comes in here and can actually stop here, and this space here, it'll be the all platform basically, and then it can exit back onto its proper track through the double slip. And any train coming on the down line here, if necessary, can go through the three-way, through the double slip, and stop here on the left hand side, if you like, of the platform, and then they can exit back onto the down line. Not quite sure if it's prototypical, but I did actually like the rearrangement, and it means as well, because I've got a long platform here which is going to get 5 coaches at least, I think. It means I can have trains on the up and the down line standing at the same time. I hope it's going to get 5 coaches. One of the things I've just got is Hornby's HST 40th anniversary pack with 5 coach rake from Rails of Sheffield. It was a bargain price, and I couldn't resist it. Right, you've seen the track plan, so this is how it translates into the track. So this track on the far side there, if I can point that one there, that is the new track that's being put in. And obviously there'll be a platform in the middle where my knife and pen is there. So there'll be a platform, and because it's nice and long, trains will be able to pass on both sides. Obviously they'll come around the corner there on the outside track, that one there, and then come along this line here for the platform. But it means that this series of points here, it means they can actually get onto any track, so they can come along here as well and get across onto this little platform. That's the plan anyway. And same from the other side, they can come from on the inside track, they can come in, and the double slip there, it means that the train can come in, where are we going, there on this track here, and so they can pass either side. And I think that's a better solution, because it means I can run quite long trains. I think I'll get 5, possibly 6 coaches on there. Definitely get 5 coaches on there, on both sides, so on the up and the down line. So that's what I've done there. So just want to tell you a word about dropper wires. I spent a lot of time looking at dropper wires. When I originally planned the layout, I actually bought some crazy thick cable. This cable here is actually 2.5 square millimeters. It's quite high current cable, and that was the cable I was going to originally use as the bus wire. And this cable, the yellow one, is 1.5 square millimeters, and that was going to be the dropper wires. It's only when I started to put the track down I realised that Code 75 rail is it's not going to take 1.5 millimeters. It'll stick out like a sore thumb, and besides which, it's probably slightly over engineered, just a little bit heavy duty. I mean, we're not wiring the underground or anything. So I relegated this one, decided not to use it at all, and I used the 1.5, this one, which is what I'm going to use for my bus wire. The reason it's yellow, by the way, I've used yellow and blue, is because I got a pretty good deal on some cable, and the only colours they had left was yellow, blue and brown, and I thought I'll go for yellow and blue. Doesn't really matter as long as you follow as long as you match them up properly. So this is going to be my bus wire, 1.5 square millimeters, which is adequate on the layout I've got. It's probably more than adequate. So the next thing is, what should I use for my droppers if I'm not going to use this? So I did some reading, and what seemed popular was solid core wire, like this stuff here. So I got some 100 meters of blue and yellow solid core wire. Now I've actually said in a previous video that I'm not a big fan of solid core wire because it doesn't have the mechanical strength, if you like. If you flex it too much, the wire breaks, and this is because there's only one, because it's one single core. It breaks, it's going to stop working. So I wasn't initially happy with that, but I thought it's nice and thin. It can carry through at 3 amps maximum, which is quite a lot, which is more than enough really for the size of layout I'm using on the in the sections of track, and I thought it would be fine. So I soldered it in, and I actually got quite a lot of it done, and then I discovered my little wiring error, which you saw in the last video. So I had to change it, so I had to pull the track up, and I was taking some of the track up. Some of the connections actually broke off, they actually did fracture. Just a couple, but it sort of vindicated my initial idea that I'm not a big fan of solid core wire because of its poor mechanical strength. And I was using the Scotch lock connectors as well, so that sent me back to the drawing board somewhat. So I put all the track back down after correcting the wiring faults on the points, and then I was looking around for more dropper wires. So there's quite a few people on different forums and stuff. You use I think it's a 16 strands of 0.1 wire, which is adequate. But what I decided to use was this one. This is 16 strands of 0.2 wire, 16 times 0.2. That's basically what it means when you see that in the specification. It means how many individual strands you've got and the size of each strand. So it's 16 strands of 0.2 millimeter cable, which gives a cross-sectional area of 0.5 millimeters in this, which will take actually 5 amps, and it's it probably is a little bit over-egging the pudding again because it is quite hefty. But and when you think how many locomotives you're going to have in any one section, it's probably not really going to be needed, if anything more than 1.5, 2 amps really. But I thought, yeah, that's something I'm going to use, and because it's multi-strand, it's got these 16 strands, 0.2 millimeter wire. It means it's very flexible and it doesn't break. Okay, so I've just got to reach up here. Right, so the next thing was the Scotch lock connectors. Now I bought some from eBay, and they're really cheap, and I got a pack of 100. There they are there. You probably can't see, I might have to put a stills photograph in here. So that's your standard Scotch lock. It's a running tap and splice, I think it's called. It lets you, obviously, if you most of you probably know this, but it lets you run a cable right through, and then you can drop in your drop wire. You can splice in your drop wire. So that's the idea. But when I tried this with the solid core wire, what you get is you can see there. So you got the bus wire, very heavy duty bus wire, and then the solid core wire there. And if you can see inside there, the solid core wire doesn't really get pushed down very far into the splice. The idea is it's an insulation displacement method. The idea is that when pressure forces the cable into the slot, it cuts through the insulation and makes the connection. And the actual part of cutting the insulation and cutting into the cable is actually going to weaken the solid core wire even further, I thought, which is another reason it put me off solid core wire. But one of the things I noticed was on the on the knockoffs, if you like, which I got off eBay cheap, it didn't seem to grip very much. So I sourced some original Scotch lock connectors, and these are the Scotch lock 905. That's the proper stock number, and this is a genuine product. And I don't know if you can see, but the two slots where the insulation goes, the one on the right, which is the running cable, which would be the bus wire, is wider than the one on the left, which is for the dropper wire. And it's actually designed like that. And if you look at the specification sheet, Scotch lock 905, the running wire is designed for 1.5 square millimeters, and the tap is designed for 0.5 square millimeter. And that's the optimum size. And using the optimum sizes means you get the maximum contact between the cable splice and the cable itself without damaging the cable too much. Because obviously if you use a cable that's too thick, it's going to slice into the cable and break a lot of the connections. And if it's too thin, then it's not going to make the connection very securely, which I think is what's happened, or what's in danger of happening on the knockoff ones. Because if I can just reach over, because you can see that the metal slicing thing, which is the cutting part, the slots are both the same size, which if you're using both the same size cable, that's not a problem obviously. Now I'm probably overthinking this, but part of my job, my real job, is I work in audio a lot, and cables and connectors are very important. You use the right cable, you use the right connector for the job in hand. And I thought, yeah, I'm gonna do this one. The only problem with these Scotch lock 905 connectors is they're really expensive. They're shockingly expensive. And I have got 100 of the cheap knockoff version as well, so I probably will end up using them. I don't know. They are shockingly expensive. I've been looking around on the internet, and you can get them on eBay, and I've seen them advertised on eBay with 3M, because they're made by 3M on the bags. But I wonder, is it actually 3M, or are they just knockoffs again, you know? Who knows? So yeah, the ones I bought were from a reputable supplier. And you can tell straight away that they're made of much higher quality. The moulding of the plastic is a much better quality. Yeah, so I don't know, but at the moment I'm going to use the 100 I got first to do the dropper wires, and I'm going to use the 0.5 cross-sectional area cable here. And what I do is I cut sections up like this, ready to go, so I can solder to all the tracks. What I'm also going to do is solder every single section, so wherever there's a joint I'm going to put a dropper on, so no individual piece of track does not have a dropper, which obviously takes a bit of extra time, but it does make sure that does ensure, I should say, that continuity is maintained. That's the idea. Now the first few I did weren't very good at all. Unfortunately they'll be covered up by ballast, for example these ones here. But fortunately, you know, a little bit of ballast, a little bit of colouring will hide those. And as I did more and more, I actually got better and better. Well, it's not better and better, but so that one's a little bit better. That one's a little bit hidden. It is difficult, I think, with Code 75 rail, because the height of the rails is low as well, so it makes it difficult to solder onto. So that's what I've done. So I've soldered on my 0.5 cable, and obviously all the point motors are in place now. So this is underneath the layout. I'm lying on the floor. You can see I'm using the DCC Concept IP digital point motors, which aren't cheap, but the few I've tested I think they're brilliant, to be honest. And it's an all-in-one box solution after all. You see all the drop wires hanging down. Just need to put the bus in now. That's the next step before we can do some test runs. So I'm looking forward to getting that completed. I'll move back a bit, I don't know if you can see here. But so what you've got all the cables coming down, and the green cables, there's a green one there, that's the frog wire, which will connect to the DCC Concepts point motors all underneath. So one thing I did buy recently, since last time, is this little portable rechargeable battery powered LED light, which was from Screwfix. It's about £22.99 I think, and it has a little meter on the side there which tells you how much charge you've got left, and this one's fully charged obviously. It's two brightnesses, so it's pretty good. Oops. Turn it off. And I can't remember whose video I saw it on. I'll put it on the bottom, give him a credit, because it's a brilliant little light. And I was thinking of something like this for working underneath the layout, because you know, when you're getting on a bit and your eyes are filling, I wear glasses as it is. I like things nicely lit up to see what I'm putting where. So I would recommend that. And of course, with it being rechargeable, it's great. No wires. Excellent. So yeah, I recommend that. That's from Screwfix. This is the 10 watt version. I think they do a 22 watt version as well, which I think would be way too bright for underneath the layout. A few people have commented on the dip in the sun dealer here, and I'm not sure whether it's actually going to affect the trains. You can see it there. It's really, every time I look at the layout it bugs me. There's no reason it came in. I wasn't leaning on there or anything. I've got some ideas to try and fix it. I might try them out. I'm not sure. First of all, I'm going to see how it runs. Someone said because it's a dip you might get things uncoupling because of the dip, which is a point actually, yes. So we'll have to see how it goes. If it affects the running too much, then I will have to deal with it. But it's very annoying, the dip. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So one of the things I got for Christmas was a display cabinet, which is there, which I got from Amazon, and it's really great. I love it. I haven't got all my logos in yet, and I haven't actually got many because I haven't been back into the hobby for very long. So that's so far. But it's a great little cabinet. It's self-assembly, but I'm quite pleased with it. Right, so that's just about it for another update. We'll see what happens next time. Hopefully we'll have the droppers in, and maybe we'll do some test runs. So until next time, bye for now.